So Professor Long, our project, as we've talked to you about before, for our final performance piece, we're studying Shakespearean actors' use of asides, specifically in soliloquies. The two pieces that we've selected, one excerpt from Hamlet, which is actually Sam doing, and one excerpt from Othello, which I'm doing. Some of the things that we talk about before we actually get into the performing of them were some of the physical layouts and problems that actors of that time would deal with. So
so what we wanted to research first was the theatrical conventions of the Globe Theater and how the text works within being able to be more personable for the audience and really understanding who that audience is. We first talked about, why Shakespeare wrote these asides, what they were used for, especially in soliloquies. They were kind of like a storytelling.
Yeah, a lot of the research we found really compared actors to storytellers, and the people of the Globe, the 2,000 some people that would frequently be in attendance, represented like the collective ears. And so when an actor had the opportunity to perform a soliloquy, we thought that was interesting because the way that they can engage the audience, the way that they talk to those people, the way they tell that story is something that I think we just kind of found interesting as actors.
Yeah,
really.
yeah. Especially the balance between self-communication of like, this is going on, we are the only actor on stage. This stage was about 36 feet long. There are possibly 2,000 people staring at us. Being able to self-communicate while also communicating with the audience. And there's a fine line between the reality of the world that we are in and not breaking that, but inviting the audience in. And that's one essential difference, I guess, between Elizabethan drama and medieval is medieval is always really set in the past, using past tense, and this is set in the future. And in both of our soliloquies, we found, very inclusive pronoun usage, us, we. I
think it's just more of the active voice, I guess, is what really allows you to engage the audience. So with that said, we'll set up Sam's piece from Hamlet.
I'm doing the famous "To Be or Not to Be" Hamlet soliloquy. It's actually debated whether it's soliloquy because Ophelia is also in the scene secretly, but as you know, obviously, this is a scene. Hamlet is very melancholy and is going through this internal turmoil of his father's death and avenging his father and having not done it already.
So the first one we'll show you is Sam performing "To Be or Not to Be" contained within the reality of the play.
Act 3, Scene 1. To be or not to be? That is the question. Whether 'tis nobler in the mind to suffer the slings and arrows of outrageous fortune, or to take arms against a sea of troubles, and by opposing end them, to die, to sleep, no more, and by a sleep to say we end the heartache and 1,000 natural shocks that flesh is heir to. 'Tis a consummation, devoutly to be wished, to die, to sleep perchance to dream. Aye, there's the rub, for in that sleep of death what dreams may come when we have shuffled off this mortal coil. Must give us pause. There's the respect that makes calamity of so long life. For who would bear the whips and scorns of time, the oppressor's wrong, the proud man's contumely, the pangs of despised love, the law's delay, the insolence of office, and the spurns that patient merit the unworthy takes, when he himself might his quietus make with a bare bodkin. Who would fardels bear to grunt and sweat under a weary life, but the dread of something after death? The undiscovered country, from whose bound no traveler returns, puzzles the will and makes us rather bear those ills we have than fly to others that we know not of. Thus, conscience does make cowards of us all.
And now you'll see Sam performing that same monologue, but directly addressing the audience.
Yep. Act 3, Scene 1. Direct address. To be or not to be, that is the question. Whether 'tis nobler in the mind to suffer the slings and arrows of outrageous fortune, or to take arms against a sea of troubles, and by opposing end them, to die, to sleep. No more, and by a sleep to say we end the heartache and 1,000 natural shocks that flesh is heir to. 'Tis a consummation, devoutly to be wished, to die, to sleep. To sleep perchance to dream. Aye, there's the rub, for in that sleep of death, what dreams may come when we have shuffled off this mortal coil, must give us pause. There's the respect that makes calamity of so long life. For who would bear the whips and scorns of time? The oppressor's wrong, the proud man's contumely, the pangs of despised love, the law's delay, the insolence of office, and the spurns that patient merit of the unworthy takes, when he himself might quietus, his quietus make with a bare bodkin. Who would fardels bear to grunt and sweat under a weary life, but that the dread of something after death, the undiscovered country, from whose bourne no traveler returns, the puzzles will, and makes us rather bear those ills we have than fly to others that we know not of? Thus, conscience does make cowards of us all.